Unexpected gifts of human old age. How the universe answers your vibration. Now, I had certain expectations as I got older. I knew pretty much what was going to happen. Sleep problems, continued weight changes, probably gaining, hair changes, physical weakness, chronic illnesses, and dealing with Erickson's psychosocial stages 7 and 8. As someone on Facebook wrote, "I don't mind getting old, it's just the side effects." What I didn't expect, spiritual changes. I thought that I had my spirituality all sewn up. I had found the comfort of reincarnation long ago and the gladdening knowledge of the goddess. I sort of felt as though I was going to just coast into old age and eventual death without any more changes or discoveries. I thought I knew it all. And then when I was about 47, I experienced a very traumatic evening at work. I had just become an agency nurse, and I was in a hospital that didn't really pay attention to who you are or where you come from. They just kind of threw you into the deep end of the pool without a life raft. I had just become an agency nurse, and I don't have time to go into the whole thing in this talk, but suffice it to say, I lost a patient. A wonderful man. And it was through no fault of mine that I thought my nursing career and therefore my life was over. This adverse event happened just before Memorial Day weekend, and my husband's son and I drove the 4 hours up to Michigan to visit my mother. While we were there, we visited the Little Professor bookstore. And of course, I headed for the occult book section, which is what metaphysical subjects were called in my hometown. And while looking at the spines of the books in that section, I saw, "You are a spiritual being having a human experience." And I remembered the quote from the French theologian Tyler Desjardins, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a human experience." And suddenly I saw that this frightening event was just a blip on the timeline of my many lives. And I was going to be okay. As far as the patient, I believe that when our work here is done, we leave, whether anybody else thinks we should or not. I remembered that the goddess has always taken care of me, and she always would, and that things had really always worked out for me in the most surprising, unexpected ways, in ways I never dreamed of. When I got home, I called my boss and asked him about the possibility of working as an agency nurse at the hospital I had previously worked at as a float nurse. They were willing to do that. They knew me, I knew them, and it was a very happy relationship. It all worked out, and I was never without a job after that. I had learned that I needed to trust in the care of the goddess, to open myself to everything and be grateful. And from then on, I had my very own mantra. I trust the goddess in all things. I am open to the whole of possibility. I give thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. And then a few years ago, I learned the name of this practice. I guess you could call it quantum spirituality, or more commonly, quantum physics. Now, before your eyes glaze over, or any of you run screaming from the sanctuary, please hear me out. I found some wonderful quotes about quantum physics, sound bites, if you will. My favorite is, "Quantum physics is where they hide the scientific proof of spirituality." Another, "Atoms are in a constant state of motion, and depending on the speed of these atoms, things appear as solid, liquid, or gas. Sound is also a vibration, and so are thoughts." One more quote, and I promise I will get to the practicalities. "Witches call it spells. Christians call it prayer. Spiritualists call it manifestation. Atheists call it the placebo effect. Scientists call it quantum mechanics. Everyone's arguing over its name. No one is denying its existence." A vibrating object moves back and forth from its normal stationary position. A complete cycle of vibration occurs when the object moves from one extreme position to the other extreme and back again. The number of cycles that a vibrating object completes in 1 second is called frequency. Frequency is measured in hertz. Researchers have found that vibrations and the electromagnetic energy associated with them causes changes in your cells, which can then affect how your body functions. Different molecules vibrate at different rates, and those rates can speed up or slow down if conditions around the molecules change. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And Albert Einstein is attributed with, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This quote implies that everything in the universe has a frequency set point, and that beings and things vibrate at different levels. For example, a person's vibratory rate may differ when they are angry or bored compared to when they are ecstatic or joyful. Keeping one's frequency high sends non-specific positive energy into the world. Excuse me. It changes the world without restricting the energy to a particular event. According to a quantum physics theory, match the frequency of the reality you want means that you can create your reality by imagining what it feels like to have your dream or something you desire. The theory suggests that every reality has a vibration, even in the mind, and that the universe will give you whatever frequency you habitually dwell in. Every single person has a different vibratory rate, representing who you are. The rate also reflects what you've gone through and are going through at the moment. The higher your vibration is, the more in touch you are with your higher self. Your inner God, goddess, divinity, consciousness, soul, or whatever word you out there that best describes your true nature resonates with you. This also means that the lower your vibration is, the more out of sync you are with your higher nature, and therefore the more conflict you may experience in life. We cannot prevent negativity from coming into our lives. That's not what we're here for. The only thing we can do is choose how we are going to respond to that negativity. Elizabeth Gilbert, in her book, Eat, Pray, Love, said, you need to learn how to select your thoughts just the same way you select your clothes every day. This is a power you can cultivate. If you want to control things in your life so bad, work on the mind. That's the only thing you should be trying to control. And for those of us who are surviving a great trauma, the crushing experiences, the death of a child or a grandchild, a newly diagnosed chronic, debilitating, or even deadly disease for which there is little, if any, effective treatment, when we are blindsided by a tragedy so great it is nearly impossible to think of anything helpful coming out of it. Grieving will lower your vibratory frequency, but that grief you are feeling is the price of love, whether for the one you have lost or for your own love of yourself and your life. Even in the depths of your grief, there is a background of love. And when that grief no longer has the ascendancy, and it can take years, your love will once again come to the fore, and your vibration will rise even higher. Please remember that there is a life for you beyond your grief. The negative thoughts, words, projections, and lies and plans of a certain presidential nominee are changing people, and not for the better. The only way we can combat this negativity is by keeping our frequency high with love, peace, hope, joy, and faith. In the film, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, the character played by Maggie Smith says at the very last, it's going to be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, then trust me, it's not the end. I know many of us are very fearful and pessimistic about the November elections, but I can tell you, because of what I see astrologically and what I hear from my astrologer friends, whatever you believe is going to happen is not. There are certain planets involved that come in with a wrecking ball, smash everything to keep our perceptions free. We're in the death throes of an old world and in the birth pangs of a new one. There are big, life-altering, unpredictable changes coming, and the more we resist these changes, the more painful and frightening they will be. Change or be changed. But what is also on our horizon that will be engendered by these changes? Freedom, revolution, invention, genius, creativity, and originality. Anything traditional or conventional that has outlived its usefulness will be overturned. The higher the frequency of your energy or vibration, the lighter you feel in your physical, emotional, and mental bodies. You experience greater personal power, clarity, peace, love, and joy. It can improve discomfort or pain in your physical body, and your emotions are more easily dealt with. Our thoughts fuel our frequency. Whatever thoughts you have will tint your reality. Think about your mind as a hotel, and you are the owner. You choose who is going to be your guest. You have the power to open the gate of your mind for some thoughts and let them crash there for as long as you want, or simply say, sorry, we don't have any openings. Remember what Gautama Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. That doesn't mean that we can never feel certain feelings or thoughts such as sadness, anger, frustration, jealousy, envy, guilt, shame, or fear, or grief, especially grief. But when we allow these thoughts or feelings to take all the space, then there is no room for high vibrational thoughts to be part of our mindset. All the space is already taken. So it is okay to feel this way sometimes, and as you process whatever is making you feel that way, take a deep breath in and out, and know that everything, absolutely everything, is temporary, including the situations that made you feel that way. Everything comes to pass, nothing comes to stay. Slowly create the habit to replace sadness with joy, anger with gratitude, frustration with patience, guilt with accountability, shame with self-love, and fear with self-compassion. These are things you can do on an everyday basis to increase your vibratory frequency. Be aware of your thoughts. When I become aware of thoughts that drag me down, lower my vibration, I say, behind me, and leave those thoughts and replace them with love, joy, peace, and especially gratitude. And I'm not saying for one moment that this is easy. Some days I find it nearly impossible, but I still work toward it. Raising your vibration helps raise the collective. Your thoughts, your intentions, your actions create energetic waves that help with the rising of the collective consciousness. We are all responsible for what happens in the world, and by changing our world, we can change the entire world. Set boundaries. Establishing healthy boundaries can help protect our energy and prevent the negativity of others from affecting you too deeply. Practice self-care. Take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You deserve to do that for yourself. Engage in activities that nourish your soul, such as meditation, yoga, prayer, or spending time in nature. Make sure to prioritize your well-being. I've been able to do that recently with my diabetes. I have a new continuous glucose monitor that has not helped but allowed me to have better control of my blood glucose in the last month than I have had in the nearly 22 years since I was diagnosed. It's not a game changer, it's a life changer, and I am so grateful for it. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with friends, mentors, or community members who uplift and inspire you. I have stopped watching the news, except for a short time in the morning. Listening to all that bad news over and over again just lowers my vibration, and keeping my vibration high is the only way I can fight the negativity that is all about me. Even my libertarian son says it is no longer the liberal media, it is the ratings-driven media. And who gets the attention? Not positive, truthful, and loving people. I read books that make me laugh and teach me wonderful things. I watch Hallmark movies because they always have a happy ending. And lately, many of Taylor Swift's songs make me feel better. Practice gratitude. There is always something to be grateful for. Cultivate a practice of gratitude to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Just taking a few moments each day to express gratitude can help shift your perspective and elevate your vibration. Practice forgiveness. I've spoken about forgiveness before and how it is simply giving up the hope of a different or better yesterday. Forgiveness can free you of anger and resentment and can be a powerful tool for raising your spiritual vibration. Forgiveness is for your own healing and growth. Be kind. Be kinder than necessary because everybody is fighting some kind of battle, carrying some kind of burden. Remember that it's essential to be patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate these challenges. The Buddha said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." It's okay to have moments of struggle, but by incorporating these practices into your daily life, you can maintain a higher spiritual vibration even in the midst of negativity or grief. Just as there is a life beyond your tragedy and trauma, there is a life for all of us beyond November 6th, and it will be different from what anyone believes. Even at my lowest vibratory times, there is still in the background the knowledge that these things are supposed to happen, that they are necessary for all of us, including the presidential candidates, to learn and grow. And it doesn't really matter who lives in the White House because that person does not control my vibratory frequency. I do. And even when my own frequency is not as high as at other times, my frequency and that of many, many, many others is much, much higher than those who are angry, fearful, full of hate, like those who follow the hate-filled liar. I leave you with the words of my very favorite of the myriad quotes stuffed into my brain. What are possibly the 5 most comforting words in the English language? And this too shall pass. Blessed be.